Hi guys, this is The Ordinary Man, Step by Step, episode 19. So just a quick recap for anybody who hasn't listened to the podcast before. What this is my name is Tommy Courtney. What I'm doing is I'm documenting the process of my attempts of trying to convert an idea into hopefully a successful business. So this isn't me providing advice or wisdom or any hints and tips or anything like that. It is literally me documenting the process, every gory detail of what I'm doing. So some things I might be doing all right, some might be wrong. People listening to this might be thinking, Jesus, why is he doing that for? That's stupid. But again, that's all part of the learning curve, and yeah, it's just I suppose to bring a bit of visibility to what it's really like for someone who is trying to start a business from the very, very start and from scratch. So that's basically what it is. So the business is called Property Basecamp. What we do is we are trying to provide rental accommodation to relocating business professionals here in Dublin. We do all that through our digital application called Property Basecamp. So that's really it in a nutshell again. So what's been up the last couple of days? So yesterday, I had a call with the guys from StartUpDublin, Sarah from StartUpDublin, just to get. I seen that they offer a concierge service that Sarah looks after. So I just wanted to get an idea from her around the sort of murmurings at the coalface of I suppose the concerns, if any, there is around the rental accommodation for both startup companies looking at Dublin, but also individual techies who are thinking about coming to Dublin, and if they see the accommodation as a stumbling block. So that was really good. Had a really good chat with Sarah. We're going to have a catch up. I think in a couple of weeks, but actually they're hosting a breakfast on Friday as well, which I'm going to try and pop into. So just to say hi, and see what comes of that. So I had a good chat with Sarah. That was the morning time. Then yesterday there was a lot of small, I suppose, admin-y type things. So again, updating our properties that we have. We had a couple of users there using the app at the minute from a couple of different companies. So one lady has found accommodation, which is great. We've another who's still on the hunt. So what we find is once employees actually arrive here to Dublin, most companies put them up for around 3 to 4 weeks in temporary accommodation, and obviously we want to try and get them long-term rental accommodation as soon as possible. But we can only do so much, and it's really, I suppose, it's on the employee to proactively go out and start looking. So they are starting to look, but a lot of them, what we found up until now, have been sort of holding out because there is not that perfect property available for them at the minute. So what we found is then maybe for the first 2 or 3 weeks they're kind of picking and choosing, which is completely understandable. But then from the third week on, they are having to, I suppose, settle for what there is. And that's a trend we're seeing with all our users, but that's just the current state of the market. That's the way things are. There's just such a short supply of rental accommodation, and it's the prices have gone extremely high as well. So that's something that I suppose we're trying to bring to the attention of the employers as well, because obviously we're trying to sell time to them. It's going to take their employees an awful lot shorter to secure accommodation. But again, there is that point of setting expectations that they may need to just take something to start off with for the first year, and then hopefully if the market picks up, then they can go and look at something that is perfect for them. But that's tricky because again, a year is a long time to be signing a lease for a property that you're not sure of, but that is just because of the state of the market at the minute. So yeah, a lot of back and forward yesterday with the guys using the app, updating the properties. Also had a final review of the proposal that we're actually in negotiations with an independent property professional who has his own company. So I think we're going to go ahead with it. I can't just mention who it is at the minute, but what essentially they're going to be able to do is provide the companies that we're working with independent advice on tenancies and tenant agreements, just so the employees are sort of comfortable knowing what they're signing, and that there's no sort of tricks or anything in the agreement, which there shouldn't be, because we're working with some of the leading property agencies who are all fully qualified, so they're all well across what the agreement should be. But it's just nice, I suppose, for the clients to have that independent source there to go to. They'll also be look after any disputes that will arise if and when they arise throughout tenancies, and offer independent advice, as well as a host of other things. So proposal looks really good, and I think we're gonna go ahead with it. So hoping to be able to announce something over the coming days on that. But again, it as I think I said before, we did lose out on a major client because we didn't offer something like this. So again, this will just add to the services that we're able to provide to prospective clients, which is great. So so that's we hopefully we'll be able to announce that in a couple of days. But all looks good, and that was pretty much it, I suppose, from me yesterday. Just a lot of little small admin type tasks, as I've already mentioned. Then today, had a really good meeting with the director of our letting agency here in Dublin. Very honest, open and frank meeting, which was great. No real bullshit. He was holding no punches in regards to what our value proposition is, his thoughts on it, where we might fail, what we have going for us, and it was great because there was a lot of things that I've had in my head that other businesses and other agencies maybe haven't raised as of yet. I didn't know if they were even issues, because obviously I'm not a property professional, but again, just a couple of assumptions that I had have been confirmed today, which was great. So we were supposed to have a 1 or a half an hour meeting, and it ended up being an hour and 45 minutes. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but really, really, really useful. And again, I love the getting the input from the leaders in the property market, who have been through it all, who've been through crashes, and who've been through now what the current market is like, and the challenges that are there for everybody involved. So so that's I'm hoping to keep in contact with him, just to I suppose lean on his extensive experience. It doesn't look like we're going to be working with their actual property agency in regards to actually the properties that they manage. I don't think we'll be listing them on our app at this point in time anyway. He has raised a couple of different things that I'll need to have a think about around our value proposition, and hopefully I can come back to him then with something that will get them on board eventually. But yeah, it was great. It was actually really, 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 really good. I suppose it could be looked upon as a fail and not getting them, but I'm not looking upon it really like that at all. I look at that as sort of I wouldn't say a positive, because it's not necessarily a positive, but you can turn that into a positive, taking their feedback and really continuing to hone your value proposition, which I'll do based on their feedback. So really, really useful. I'm delighted that I was able to get in with them. So that was great. Then what else today? So we actually got word also from a company that we've been trying to get into a room with for a long time. They're I suppose a global leader in technology. I was talking to them probably about 2 months ago now at this stage, and it's just been a bit of a struggle to try and get into the room with them. But I'm going to meet with the director of HR of the European operations and the director of sales for the European operations now at the end of the month. So again, they're pretty keen to hear on what we have to offer. So I'm really looking forward to that. Again, want to continue to try and just hone our value proposition and make sure that what we're providing to them is exactly what they'll be looking for. So a fair bit of prep to do for that, but that should be great. And that's pretty much it. Having a call now with the team at 5:30, just to talk about priorities and what they're working on next, from a design and development point of view. So I think we'll be looking first of all at basically the administration side of the application, i.e. creating agencies, creating property agent profiles, etc. As I said, we're actually managing the advert creation for the property agencies at the minute until we can get a bigger client base on board and basically prove our worth. So that's what we'll be looking at as well in the application, to try and put together a good user experience for the agents, and that'll be it. Then just again going to continue to try and build relationships with people of interest to me, and we'll be doing that via the usual LinkedIn and Twitter. I'm getting more feedback from Twitter now, which is interesting. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about what way things are going on Twitter. But yeah, anyway, and that's really it. So next podcast will be Friday. I've got my sister's college graduation tomorrow, so won't get too much done tomorrow. Friday, really looking forward to Friday. So as I said, we've got the breakfast in the morning at Dublin Startup. Then at lunchtime, we're going to be running our first I suppose theme or segment, I suppose, in the podcast, our new segment, which is 7 days with, and this week it's going to be a company called UniBrowse. So again, haven't come up with a more creative name for that. I've got a couple of the lads tasked with trying to come up with a creative name for it, but it's going to be something like 7 days with or something along those lines. What it basically is as I said, we're going to be talking with UniBrowse, so they're going to give a brief overview of what the company is, where the idea came from, where they're currently at the minute, what they're looking for at the minute, how they're planning to grow. What I suppose the main part of it is what have they done in the last 7 days, so to basically make their business continue to grow and move forward. So it's going to be really sort of, I'm going to be looking for really practical and all the gory details. I know some of the guys are still working full time, have full time jobs as well. So they're doing the late night shifts and the weekend shifts, which is tough going. So really looking forward to getting the gory details out of Alan from UniBrowse. Hopefully that'll be the first of many of these segments. So I'm really looking forward to Friday and obviously growing that part of the podcast. So yeah, really I would, if you know any students, I would be advising them to tune into Friday's podcast, because that's what the market that the UniBrowse guys are going after. So again, thanks very much guys, thanks for the feedback, really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again on Friday. Take care.